live, take 2, hopefully without the audio issues this time. Let's see when people trickle in, if the audio is fixed. I do hope so. Cheers. Let's hope that the audio has restored itself. All right, Tim and Ridge are in. Tim, is my audio back? Still no audio? Can I get a confirmation? No audio? No? No audio? Give me... Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, audio's fixed? Oh, Tim is just trolling me. Oh, fucking Tim. Good Tim. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Tim. People, when I save these videos in my feed later, people don't see these comments. People are having a little fun in the comments section. They're trolling me. The audio's back. Cheers. Let's talk about toys and whiskey, shall we? I started talking about Toys on Amsterdam, the latest YouTube video. Go check it out on YouTube, of course. And we're going to talk about the toys that I picked up, and we're going to look forward to what's next toy-wise, what's coming up. We are moving towards the end of the year, which means a lot of toy shows, a lot of vintage shows, always sort of clustered in sort of end of summer and fall. Lots of toy releases as well coming up. I'm going to pull up some images here while we talk. Yeah, tricky times, right? Because like the world's on fire and everything's going to shit. So let's talk about some toys, right? Let's talk about some pointless plastic. Here we go. If you have any questions in the meanwhile, just flick them into the comment section. That would be nice. Alrighty, I see KO is here, Mettert is here. Right, Toys from Amsterdam. So, funny story. I'll kick off with a funny story about this thing that I picked up. So this is the Computer Force Null and his little football trophy, soccer trophy tank. I was after this one for a little while. There's a few iconic ones in this line from 1991. The Pepsi can that's on the shelf there that I've had for about 6-7 years now. And I was never in a rush to collect the other Computer Warriors or Computer Force because A, you didn't see them a lot, so there was not a lot of opportunity to get them, and they weren't really my priority. But I did always love how detailed the figures look. Like here's one of the Lucy's, and as you can see, like they're very detailed, and they're completely painted, and they are completely different from the back. Like from the back, he's this purple circuit board with all these little details, and then from the front, he's this completely different looking character. So I always dug the little figures. I have this sort of mental image of the old commercial for this imprinted in my mind, and I always thought it was some kind of fever dream, this sort of memory I had of an alarm clock and a Pepsi can and a football trophy transforming into little bases with little figures. I thought I made it up because for decades I didn't see it, and this is all, of course, before the internet, right? I am 40 years old. So some of these memories are from the late 80s, early 90s, and unless you know what it's called, you will never find it again. You'll never find it unless you know what it's called. That's sort of the one sort of problem. You can find everything as long as you know what it's called. So a few years back, I found out that it wasn't a fever dream, that all this stuff existed, and it was called Computer Warriors or Computer Force in Europe. And I got the Pepsi can. And I wanted the soccer trophy. I had it in my hands a couple of times in the past. I have this photograph on my phone where I had it in my hands at Space Oddity here in Amsterdam on the Prinsengracht. If you haven't been in in Amsterdam yet. There's this great vintage toy shop called Space Oddity. It's been there for about 3 decades now. And I had this one in my hand. It was only 22 euros and I didn't pull the trigger. And this one was sealed and it was 16 euros 6 or 7 years ago. And of course now all vintage toys have become more expensive. The pandemic didn't help. A lot of sort of the indoor hobbies like toy collecting have just shot up and sort of gone to the moon in popularity. So this has also got more expensive. So didn't see it a lot. It's got more expensive. So I wasn't in a rush to collect these. But I got to talking with a seller at the previous toy shop who had some Computer Warriors stuff. And I told him I was looking for this one. He said, "Oh, I have it if you want it." And he sent me some photographs. And the toy was a little bit discolored, right? It's a white plastic football. If you collect toys, you know what I'm talking about. White plastic doesn't live forever. Most white plastic from the 80s and 90s will turn brown or yellow over time. So it looked like it had already discolored. And it was missing a few key stickers because I don't know if it's visible on the box here. It doesn't seem to be. But like on the little golden base that's underneath the football, there's supposed to be 3 stickers with the letters MVP on them, most valuable player, because it's a trophy. And the pictures the seller showed me didn't have those stickers on it. And I was like, it's a little discolored, it's missing stickers. I was hoping to find one sealed, so I didn't immediately act on it. And then the seller came to the next edition Toy Zone and he brought it. And I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get it. I just have to inspect it. And even while I was buying it from him, which was totally my intent, I still had a little bit of doubt because of that one, because of the Pepsi can that I got sealed a few years ago. Totally irrelevant. This is just the way my brain works. Like that seller of this one probably thought I was some kind of nutcase for taking so long to make my decision. But I was just endlessly comparing it to the minty sealed one I had for less in the past. So I was in my own way of making a decision because of course this is what I wanted and of course I should buy it. But the missing stickers, the discoloration. Anyway, I did buy it. Turns out it just needed a little clean. So I gave it a little rubby, little fig bath. And that's just some soapy water. That's just some dish soap and like a soft sponge. And then when you're done with that, you take a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol, not the highest concentration because you'll take off the paint, just like a lower concentration rubbing alcohol, and you get into like the little nooks and crannies, and then you can get it quite nicely wiped. And you know, everything's here, the little guy and his little base mode. It's all there, and the guy looked good, and the stickers looked good. And this base is supposed to come off and sort of become his radar dish of sorts. But there were supposed to be stickers on this base, I thought, right? So even though I got it clean and I was happy with it, it still bugged me that I was missing some stickers. But then I did some inspection. Let's see if I can... Give me 1 second. There we go. Then I found the sticker sheet. And then the plot thickens. Because here you have, let me see if I can make that more visible. Yeah. You see those 3 squares? That's where the letters MVP were supposed to be. But the stickers aren't missing. They're still there. See that? They're not missing, they're cut. But there's no print. So the letters aren't printed. So he's not missing any stickers. The letters are missing from the sticker sheet. And then it all fell into place. He's not missing stickers. This is the European version called Computer Force instead of Computer Warriors. And this is the multilingual packaging, right? With like football trofee, foosbal, trofee di calcio, football trofee. It's like on there in 5 languages. Apparently, for the multilingual version, the abbreviation MVP was too American, I think. I think that must be it. They just left it off the sticker sheet. The letters are just not there. I mean, it's still cut that way. So you have like 3 white squares where those letters are supposed to be. And that changed everything for me, because now he's no longer incomplete. He's perfectly complete. He's perfectly complete for the European version of this toy. So I was a happy camper again. So I know how all of this sounds. I know this is like maximum OCD, maximum obsessive. But hey, it made my day. I thought I had lowered my standards and bought something that was filthy and incomplete. And it wasn't filthy and it wasn't incomplete. It's just perfectly fine. It just needed some more inspection. If I run into that seller again, I'm gonna apologize for stringing him along and being difficult, because I should have just said yes immediately. Anyway, that was one of the things I picked up at Toy Zone Amsterdam. Cheers. Another highlight of the things that I picked up is this puppy. Is this Generation 1 Perceptor in all his shiny glory. So Perceptor is one of those Transformers that comes from the Mikuruman line, I think. The same line as where Soundwave comes from. Because they weren't supposed to be in scale with the other Transformers. They were supposed to be small robots that transformed into household items. This is supposed to be all of him, if you understand what I mean. If this guy transforms, he's supposed to stay that small. But when those designs got injected into Transformers, right? When the team at Hasbro collected all these Japanese toy lines and put them together into one toy line, Soundwave and Blaster and Perceptor, got absorbed into Transformers, and in the cartoon they still transform into these tiny household objects, but then you just scale up into giant robots. Mass shifting, as it's called in our fandom. Mass shifting. Megatron does it. Soundwave does it. All the guys that change size, they do mass shifting. But the robots that come from that Mikuruman line are surprisingly sturdy and surprisingly decent. And I've always sort of liked Perceptor. I had his Studio Series 86 version, which I really dug. But I never had the G1. And the seller at Toy Zone had him for a really decent price. And I was like, why is this so cheap? But it's a reissue. It's a reissue from 2014. The Platinum reissue, as they were called. And he came in a set with Blaster. You had Blaster and Perceptor in a box set together. And I guess somebody kept the Blaster and sold his Perceptor, because this one is completely pristine. There's not a scratch or a blemish on him. And because it's such a decent Transformer, I'm going to transform him live on camera. Something that I normally refuse to do, because often when I try to transform something on camera, I will break something. Let's hope not. Let's hope that this one goes off without a hitch. As you can tell, it's just a very sturdy design. Like, this is a a 40-year-old design, because Nikuruman and Diaclone and all those toy lines that became Transformers were older than Transformers itself, right? If you look at the design from Megatron, some of the stamps, the year stamps on Megatron are 1979, not 1983. It's because these robot designs were around before Transformers were a thing. So imagine this is older design-wise than I am. And look how good that looks. Oh my lord. Look at that. Isn't that an iconic look? With that color blue and all the shiny chrome and the red, and you know, the posability is pretty great for a Generation 1 Transformer. He has knees, he has hips, he has elbows, he has shoulders. It's pretty damn good. That's pretty nice, right? So I was happy with this. This is one of those purchases that you weren't looking for. You just sort of pick up, you're like, hey, that's cool. Why don't I give that a try? And I'm glad I did. Yeah, I think this one is going to stay in my collection for a little while, because yeah, he just skills very nicely with Blaster and Soundwave, and yeah, quite happy with that, I have to say. Because it's the reissue, it came with some extra bits, by the way. As you've seen in the YouTube video, it comes with these little microfilms for him to look at, which is funny because it's like a little microscope and you can actually look at these things. It's cool. It's cool. I dig it. It's the only bit that's sort of not supposed to come with him, but I guess they designed it to come with the Platinum reissue, which is cool because some of these toys have been reissued quite a few times, right? If you look at Perceptor, he's been reissued in the Takara book reissue line from the early 2000s. He's been reissued in the American commemorative line. I think he's been reissued once more in between that, and then we have the Platinum reissue, which is this one. And then you have the latest reissue, which is that sort of cartoon colors one, where they took this and they basically stripped him of all his silver and chrome stickers and made that sort of bluish green, more the blue of the cartoon. And yeah, that one's just recently released. But I like this better. Like, I like my Generation 1 Transformers to have the chrome, to have the stickers, because that's the way I remember them. Like, as a kid, I already knew the toys were first and then the cartoon. In the whole sort of toy accuracy, cartoon accuracy debate, I am more on the side of toy accuracy. Because I liked the cartoon, but I only watched the cartoon because of the toys and not the other way around. So I didn't... It wasn't like the marketing scheme is supposed to be like you watch the cartoon and you go get the toys. For me, it was... I had the toys, my brother had the toys too, and there was also a cartoon of it on TV. It was secondary. Anyway, another exciting item that I picked up is SpaceJam, not one of the Monstars. So these are from Playmates Toys, who of course famously did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures and the Toxic Avengers, Toxic Crusaders, and this one is the one that's the hardest to find. Like you'll occasionally see the big green dude and the big purple one, Bubkiss and Bonk, I believe. But this one is actually quite rare, and Retro Geek Mike, who is also on Instagram, and Timothy Savage, also from Instagram, I've spotted him at Vintage Toys of the Universe. And due to personal circumstances, I couldn't be at Vintage Toys of the Universe, even though I hyped the absolute shit out of it. I talked so much to everybody about that toy show in Belgium, and then the irony is I couldn't be there. They found it there, and they bought it for me, and they brought it to the Amsterdam show for me. Super nice, didn't have to do that, but I appreciate the help. Having toy hunting friends is like having extra sets of eyes. They'll spot stuff, they'll let you know. It's really great. I really like this community. I really like all of you. So yeah, Monstars, not a very poseable figure. Like all of the Monstars, they basically have like head, shoulders, and waist. So it's like 4 points of articulation. And for some reason, he and the blue one that's on the shelf there somewhere, the one with the thin limbs, they get very bent over time. Like, he doesn't stand because his feet are not level anymore, as you can tell. So I still have to sort of fix this one up. It's not a difficult thing to do. Just basically grab a blow dryer, heat the limbs up, bend it in the right place, dunk it in some cold water to set it, and that's how you fix it. It's just the hair dryer and some cold water after, and then you can sort of get rid of this awkward bend. Some of my Turtles figures have it too. Like, I've got a Raphael that won't stand because of that. So it's a fixable problem that you'll see with some of the vintage toys. Let me just wave at some people here. Rodimus, real Funko father. So yeah, happy with that. I only need one more Monstar. That's the purple one, Bupkis. When I get that, I've got all the 5 Monstars and the manager, Swag Hammer, and then I'm done. I'm not going to get all the Looney Tunes figures. I might get one Michael Jordan figure because it is kind of dope to have a Michael Jordan figure. But I was collecting them because I liked the Monstars, and this is number 4 out of the 5 Monstars that I need. Yay! Awesome times. Cheers. Then I picked up some more stuff. I picked up some more of these Computer Warriors, Computer Force guys. These are Lucy's. Yeah, fun to have. I'm probably going to look for the full sets further down in my collecting journey, but for right now, these are really nice to have. Again, they are very nicely painted. They're smaller than Dino Riders figures, and smaller than Mask figures. They don't have knees. They just have the arm joints and the hip joints, but they are really a nice example of freaky character design done with a lot of love. I mean, look at that. That's cool, right? That's cool. Oh yeah, and I picked up some more Transformers. Not really special ones, but like here, the Junior Target Masters, because I'm trying to collect the 1998 line, and some modern Transformers as well. Legacy Bombshell, and on the shelf there we have, right here, Studio Series 86 Brawn. All in all, a nice little selection. Last time I went to Toy Zone, it was mostly Turtles that I left with. This time it's mostly Transformers. Consistency, right? I guess it changes from season to season which vintage toys attract me more. I don't know. Anyway, so what's on the horizon? There is a Transformers-focused toy show here in the Netherlands happening on Sunday. Not this Sunday, but Sunday next. And I am not 100% sure yet if I am going. If I am, there's a few sort of specific Transformers items I will be looking for that have a high likelihood of being available there. The problem is, it's quite a little drive. It's in the south, near Eindhoven. And I simply don't know yet if I'm going to go. Then, end of November, there is Toy Mania, which is quite a good show, I have to say. Like, I've seen people say really good things about it. I have seen That's Retro Geek Out, friend of the channel. You've seen him in one of my videos. He's been to Toy Mania twice now, because the upcoming edition is the 3rd edition. And it looks like a really good show. It's like the cliche of a school gym or a school auditorium, and just tables and tables and tables and tables of vintage. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. Just no fanciness, just tables and tables and tables and tables of vintage. So yeah, that's the 26th of November in Hulst in Zeeland, which is the islandy bit of the Netherlands. Actually, for me in Amsterdam, it's a longer drive to get there than to go to Belgium. Go figure. So that's coming up. Then there is a lot of stuff that I've been putting off that I really want to get, but I haven't pulled the trigger on yet. And on my Instagram, you've seen me sort of throw that into my stories, because I can't make up my mind. And if you know what I'm talking about, that as a collector, that there's multiple things you want to get, but you just don't know where to start, right? You don't know where to spend your money first, right? Then you probably know what I'm talking about. Like stuff like Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus, which is an amazing toy. I love his spring-loaded chest mechanism that you can see in this picture. And the proportions of him just make sense to me. Like, he's very chunky, very large, but that's what he's supposed to be, right? That's how he's supposed to look. And I quickly sold my my Kingdom Ultra Magnus that I had, because I was like, okay, everybody's gonna sell their Kingdom Ultra Magnus. Everybody's gonna sell their Siege and Kingdom Ultra Magnuses. Ultra Magnusi? What's the plural of Ultra Magnus? Ultra Magnuses? In favor of this guy. So I had to give it a shot. I had to go with this. So I quickly sold that other one. Rich Toys is asking, the prototypes from the Turtles of Grayskull are out. Check it out on Toy Art. I've seen them. I am not confused. What's the word? I dig that they did it. I like how they look. I'm still not gonna get them myself, I think. I was really hoping they would do a He-Man character and Turtle character and fuse the two, but that's not quite what they've done. There's not going to be a Skeletor wearing the armor of Shredder. They're going to do some kind of Mosquitor Shredder, but there's not going to be a Skeletor Shredder combo. I think what they're doing is that they're suggesting that these turtles are coming to Eternia, so they're not fusions of two characters. They're just dressed as if they would be part of that world. So you have a sort of heroic Leonardo kind of looking like He-Man, and you have a Donatello kind of looking like Man-at-Arms, but they're still also doing a new Man-at-Arms. And then the new Man-at-Arms has nothing to do with the turtles. I mean, he has some turtle-related deco. He has a little bit of turtle shell kind of armor. There's some confusing design choices in the line. So I'm happy it's happening. I'm curious to hear what you all think. Rich, if you want to let me know in the comments what you thought of them. But I'm personally going to pass. And that's fine. I need more money for the rest of the stuff I want to get. Stuff like the Super 7 Unicron, which is super high on my list. I should have gotten it the moment it got released, because it immediately sold out everywhere. And now it's really hard to find one in Europe. I'm probably going to have to import it from the States, which I really don't want to do. It's not that expensive of a toy. And then if you're going to import it from the US, you get shipping, you get import tax. It used to be 1 in every 10 of my shipments from the States would get found out by import tax back in the day. But since the last like 5 or 6 years, it's 100%. Anything I order from outside of Europe, I get the import tax slapped on. And I, you know, it's the law, it's fine. It just makes getting stuff from the US and outside of Europe, just makes it a lot more expensive. So if I can avoid having to order stuff from Asia or from the US, I try to avoid it. I try to look for stuff in Europe. And I guess that's the point. I guess that's the point of the tax. And this guy just doesn't show up in Europe. I've tried every store, all the ones that come to mind when you talk about the toy hobby in the Netherlands, like Space Oddity, Toy Boys, the Bounty Hunters store, Gator, all these Dutch toy stores that will be selling the Super 7 products, but none of them had the Unicron. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to go international with it. Another thing that's been on the list for a long time and I haven't pulled the trigger on is G.I. Joe Classified Shipwreck. Now, I wanted this guy the minute he got revealed because Shipwreck is one of my favorite Joes. Like, I like Destro, I like Sergeant Slaughter, I like Shipwreck. I guess because he kind of looks like a YMCA character. He's so ridiculous in his sailor outfit and his parrot, and this sort of modern interpretation from the Classified series is just a lot of fun. I just want it. I just want to take pictures with it. I've got the Pimp Daddy Destro and Sergeant Slaughter on the shelf there. I'm just looking forward to make pictures with it. But this one as well, like I should have pulled the trigger the moment it became available, because now it's sold out everywhere. And I have to go second market with it. Like I have to sort of find it on eBay or Vinted or stuff like that. And yeah, meh. What else? Yeah, I was going back and forth about the Mattel WWE Retro Wave 4 bundle. So these are the retros that they sell directly through Mattel Creations, their sort of new sort of collector website. And the first wave of this stuff sold out in 5 hours. The second one less so. The third one even less. And this one also no countdown, no pre-order, it just appeared online. You could buy them, and apparently they haven't been sold out yet. And I do really like what they've done. Like that Paul Bearer I really want, that Vader I really want. The other two, Jerry King Lawler and Undertaker I can live without, but that Paul Bearer and that Vader I want. But I don't know, because it doesn't sell out, because there seems to be less hype for these figures these days, I feel less urgency to immediately get them. And that's sort of a like a staircase. Like, oh, I don't have to get them right now. Oh, I can take my time. Oh, maybe there's other stuff I want more. Maybe that staircase eventually leads to me just not getting them. And the irony is, when I ended up like completely not getting them and they get sold out, then we're back at the same situation that I had with Shipwreck or Unicron, is where I suddenly want them more because I'm missing out. It's exhausting. This hobby is exhausting. And of course, I still would love Trainbot Shuki, the masterpiece version of the guy. Like, I've been putting off getting him for about 2 years now, I think, or a year, since he was announced, because I'm not going to get all the Trainbots. I'm not going to make the big Raiden Trainbot. I am not that fussed but there's something about this particular robot design that I just really like. I think it kind of looks like Power Rangers-esque, you know? The head crest and the way it looks, it's a very Japanese looking robot. It's kind of like obscure. And I have bought the original G1 Shuki. Let me just quickly grab him, 1 second. So this is the Generation 1 Shuki that I bought because I assumed I was going to get the Masterpiece version and that I never did. Here it is. It's a lovely tiny little train and he turns into the cutest, squattest little robot. And yeah, again, I put it off for too long and then I was like, meh, maybe I don't want it anymore, and now it's starting to sell out in some places and I'm like, I should have gotten it. Again, exhausting. The psychology of toy collecting is exhausting, and we are in our own way in a lot of times where we could be happy if we just did what we set out to do. So here is Trainbot Shuki in his G1 form, and here's his, oh, hang on, and here's his Masterpiece form. Now, wouldn't that be cool to display these two side by side? I would absolutely love doing that. So that one also on the list. Another thing that's on the list that I have to pull the trigger on is the Missing Link Optimus Prime. If you've been keeping up with your Transformers news, then you know what I mean. The Missing Link Optimus Prime. The Missing Link Optimus Prime is basically G1 Optimus Prime that looks completely like G1 Optimus Prime, but with articulation, with ankles and knees and hip joints and even an ab crunch. And it's like Takara Tomy tapped into our brains and figured out what we wanted, because this is what a lot of us collectors have been talking about for ages, is we basically want something that looks 100% like the vintage original figures, but just a little bit of assistance of modern engineering, if you will. And yeah, it's a pre-order that I have to do because it arrives in February, because next year is the big anniversary of Transformers. And yeah, pre-orders. I've got a love-hate relationship with pre-orders. Like, I do not like the idea of already spending money and not having anything in hand. Rodimus is saying like, hey, it comes February, I want two. I would get it, Rodimus, if I were you. Let me just wave at some people here. Pixel Kaiju, Begone. Hi, everybody. It's a really good move to release this. It's a really good move to release this in the sort of anniversary year of Transformers. I think that's smart. I hope they do Megatron too. There were some pictures online of Missing Link Megatron, but it's fake. It's a fan trolling us all, tapping into our hidden desires, because we want this. We want poseable G1, right? It's like somebody once explained to me, like I think I saw it somewhere in a video, is if you sell really good stereos, if you sell like Bose speakers and stuff like that, you're not gonna get people to buy those big stereo sets and those really expensive speakers by playing new music. They want to listen to old Rolling Stones records and the Beatles on $10,000 speakers, because that's what what they want. And this is kind of like that. This is kind of like, we want new things, but they need to be exactly like the way I remember it. It's almost cynical, but it is what I want. It is what I want. Like, I saw the announcement and I immediately went like, that's knowing what your fandom wants. That's having the finger on the pulse of what the fans want. And I feel bad for all the other sort of third-party companies and other people making Optimuses. Like, no Optimus is going to scratch the itch that people have the way the Missing Link Optimus will. It's going to be a milestone, undeniable. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different plastic things I want. And I have to be smart with my money, because Toy Mania is coming up in Holst, like I said, end of November. Christmas is coming up. I also have a family. I am not by myself. So I'm gonna need some cash flow for that. So I'm gonna have to be selective. I don't know yet how I'm gonna solve it, because I want all 6 of these things. I guess I'm just gonna have to sort of make a list and start with the ones that I like the most. That's why I did the poll thingy on Instagram stories. I was trying to sort of figure out what you guys would do. And the winners from those polls are Unicron, Ultra Magnus, and Trainbot Shuki, funny enough. Let's see what the comments are saying. Pixel Kaiju is saying, Transformers is old. We are old. We are definitely old. We are definitely old. Like, our stuff, the stuff we like, is older than the stuff that our parents liked when we were young. When you think about it, like when my dad used to play Beatles records, like, and I would be like, "Oh, Dad, that's so old," and stuff. Those records were in the 90s. They were 20 years old, or 25, 30 years old. And now I am into toys and music and media that's older than that. It's a rough realization to have, that you are into stuff that's older than the stuff your parents used to be into when you were a kid and you thought their tastes were outdated. Think about that for a moment. Rich Toy saying, I can just hear Peter Cullen's voice in that picture. Yeah, the Missing Link one, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what else could you want, right? And they're doing 2 versions, one with the trailer and one without the trailer. The one with the trailer has yellow eyes and orange windows, and he looks more like the toy. And then the one without the trailer has blue eyes and blue windows, making him look more like the cartoon. I'm going for the toy version. Of course I'm going for the toy version, right? Like, toy accuracy, cartoon accuracy, right? Pixel Kaiju is saying the WWF Retro is cool, but only Vader does appeal to me. I get that, and it's fitting that you would like Vader. I think he's one of the cool ones too. I wish he had the accessory, the big sort of the big Geiger-esque mask he had. So if you look at Vader here, he does have his normal face mask, but he, as a ring entrance gear, he had this big sort of black horned monster mask in a couple of entrances. It looked like something Geiger would design, who of course did the alien and the chairs in the June movie. It's a shame they didn't include that. I think that would push it over the edge for me. That would make it an instant buy. The New Japan Pro Wrestling mask. Yeah, that one. Because it's like, they have it. Like, they have a mold of it. Because with the big, the elite figures of Vader, I'm sure there's a Vader figure that comes with it. They could literally just take that. Because the head sculpts of the retro figures are the same size as the head sculpts for the big figures. So it fits the elite figures, then it fits the retros as well. So they had the molds. I don't know why they didn't do it. And you know, they've got Jerry the King Lawler in there, and he has like a crown on his head, but it's not removable. There's a few choices there which are not optimal. And again, it's a staircase. If those choices make me not immediately press buy now, then it goes into the next tier, which is like, oh, I'll just keep it on my want list for a little while. Oh, what else do I want to get? Oh, and then it sort of starts to trickle down, and it goes into this spot where I'm not sure if I'm going to get it at all. Tricky. I mean, the set with Mean Gene Okerlund, the first wave of the WWF retros, was like a no-brainer. Like, I had Gene Okerlund figure. I had to have it. I had to have it. Let's see who else is saying something. Still Picture Gaiju is saying like Vader was poorly pushed in the WWF. Yeah, he was. It's a real shame. The Mask had steam. Watched the Bam Bam versus Vader match a few days back. Yeah, I dig Vader. I mean, Vader looks like he can properly hurt you. And sometimes a wrestler doesn't need much more than that. He just needs to look like he would hurt you. There's this great photograph of Vader and Ric Flair walking down a beach, which is a promotional shot for a Baywatch episode that they're part of. And I think they were in WCW then. And Ric Flair is wearing flip-flops, because of course. And Vader has his Vader suit on, but he's wearing these Reebok basketball shoes, which is a really, really good 90s look. Like, I think it were like the Reebok pumps with like the little pump thingy on them. It's a great pick. I don't have the energy to look it up right now, but I think you know what picture I mean, Pixel Kaiju. Cheers. So I'm torn with these 6 things I want. Christmas coming up, I might just have to sort of pick my favorites and just take it step by step. Or I keep all my money in my pocket and wait to find out what I find at Toy Mania in Hulst. Because a lot of the time, my favorite purchases are the things that I'm not looking for, but I just run into. Like train built Shoki, which I got at the Transformers convention thingy in Eindhoven, I think last year, where a guy had not just Shoki, he had all the train bots packaged separately in their tiny little Japanese boxes. He also had the gift set, and he was selling loads of very rare Japanese Transformers. And he also had this loose Shuki, and I was like, okay, I can't afford the boxed ones. I also don't think I should have the boxed ones. I think they should go to somebody who's building a beautiful mint in box collection, not somebody who is as random as I am with my collection. So the loose, slightly worn Shuki was good enough for me at the time. Good enough for me. Still quite expensive, like we're talking 40 euros for this one guy, but happy I got it nonetheless. Let's see, Vintage Empire is watching. Hi Vintage Empire. And Jake Collects 312. Let me wave at some people. I'm gonna do a little refill. I'm gonna keep blabbing. It's like I said, I'm tired as hell. The world's on fire. I just want to talk about some plastic, if that's okay with you all. I just want to talk about plastic, talk about toy shows, and listen to some synthwave. Synthwave. Cheers. Nika indeed, Vintage Empire. Nika from the barrel. Lovely Japanese whiskey. I have another one here, which is just insane. It's a single malt Saburu Maru. And I have some other ones here. It's, I know how this makes me look. I know I come across an alcoholic now. I'm not, I promise you. But a good glass of whiskey every once in a while, it's good for you. So we've talked about the toys that I picked up at Toys in Amsterdam, all the Computer Warrior stuff. We talked about some Transformers. We've talked about stuff that I want to buy, but I don't quite know which one to get first. We've talked about toy shows. Yeah, what else is there to talk about? I am looking to update the room a little bit. As you can see, the shelves are getting quite full. This shelf is now empty, mostly because I've put a lot of stuff in boxes. Living in Amsterdam means you don't have a lot of space. So even though I'm not, this is not me going where, I have a really nice house, but this office that I'm using for this hobby, the collection is getting too big for this office. Now, the obvious answer is to sell a bunch of stuff, but I don't want to. I really don't want to, and I have come to terms with that my collection will constantly be in flux. Like, there'll be stuff on the shelves, there'll be stuff in the basement, there'll be stuff in drawers, and there'll be stuff in my storage box. I'll just have to accept that. But I want to fix up the place a little bit. I want to hang some stuff up. I've got my stuff like my let's see if I can get rid of the glare here. My Samurai Pizza Cat's animation cell and other stuff like that that doesn't have a spot yet. I want to find a spot for that. I have some new shelves I want to put up. So the wall that I'm looking at, so that's the wall across from these shelves, is empty. And that was on purpose because it's very calming for me to work when I work from home and not have all the toys in my direct eye line, because I would get very distracted. But I need more shelves, so I'm going to put some shelves and find some extra space. Maybe that's going to lead to discovering some toys that I can sell, that I can say goodbye to, but I'm not counting on it. Like, I look around the room and I don't see that much I would want to get rid of. Like, every piece in here is special in some way, like, big turtles, Transformers, obscure stuff. I do not think I would be able to fill a table at a toy show with the stuff that I want to sell. I think I did that once a couple of years. No, that's not true. I used to do it all the time. Back in the old days, in the days of BOTS, which was a Transformers only convention in Aalsmeer, I would most years rent a table, and I would have enough to sell to fill a table. I think what has changed is that I have become more selective with what I buy. There's less stuff that I buy to try it out like I used to. Most purchases I do, I am quite sure that I want. So as a side effect of that, I don't have this sort of annual purge of, let's say, 20% of the collection that goes into sales, because I just like the stuff too much. Like, even the stuff that I got at Toy Zone, like Perceptor, like, I don't see myself parting with that anytime soon. So I have to accept that I need to put up more shelves and find more storage solutions in this tiny little office that I have, unfortunately. Hey, it's Black Lodge Toys. Let me get a little wave. Timothy Savage. Yep, we're still doing this. Still talking. Cheers. I was just talking about how I'm going to fix up the office, put up some more shelves because I'm running out of space. It's also really inefficiently done. Like when I put this room together, let me just turn the camera a little bit. When I put this room together, I still wasn't collecting that heavily. So these shelves were mostly just the masterpiece transformers with loads of space around them, kind of like a museum. So you have like a toy and lots of empty space. And then during the pandemic, the collecting just went pew. And now I've got more stuff than I can fit. Because like there's boxes here. And these are not even all the boxes. Like I've got many more boxes. Oh, hang on. Right. There we go. Oh, hang on. I got some. I have some camera issues here. Here we go. And also like the top shelf doesn't make sense. Like I've got the Titans there now. So like Scorponok and the Ark and Predaking and Devastator. And I love having them, but I don't do anything with them. Like it would have been more space efficient to put some cupboards up there instead of shelves, because now those top shelves just get the big robots and nothing. Like if I had like cupboards there with like little cabinets, that would have been far more effective space-wise. But yeah, I'm gonna fix it all up soon, put up some extra shelves, see how it goes. Timothy Savage is saying, just do what I do, get a display case and put it in the living room. My my partner has in the past tolerated some of the toys popping up in the living room. I don't know if she still would enjoy that. Like I've got like the big Skeletor, like the jumbo Skeletor in the living room. I've got like a Super 7 Optimus statue in the living room. Every once in a while I get away with that. Like I've got the Lego DeLorean in the living room. But yeah, I don't think I can get away with like a full glass display case in the living room. I think she'll I think she will not like that. Again, the comments are hilarious. My Vintage Empire analysis, my partner wouldn't allow it either. Yeah, listen, like I've been to a lot of other collectors' houses and it differs, right? Some people contain their hobby to an attic or like their own little room or a garage space or something like that. And then there's other people where the hobby is just everywhere. You walk into their house and it's just everywhere. Like every shelf, every surface in their house is covered in this stuff. And I get it. And this is gonna sound really weird coming from me, but there's more to life than plastic. There's not a lot more to life than plastic, but there is more to life than plastic. So I also enjoy my house not fully being a vintage toy museum. I really enjoy this room being my vintage toy museum. Like I love coming here, I love walking in, I love taking pictures, playing some music while I'm here. But yeah, I don't need action figures in my kitchen. Rich Joyce is saying, simple answer, move away from Amsterdam. Yes, I am very aware of that. Every day I'm aware that if I would move away from this city, cash in, sell this house, and move to a different city or village in the Netherlands, I would probably get a much bigger house and probably get a lot more space for my hobby. It has crossed my mind. I have fantasized about like an attic or even like a cellar kind of thing, and just to have like space to display gift sets, for instance, like play sets, for instance. I've never bought like Snake Mountain or Castle Grayskull or the Ghostbuster Firehouse or the Mask Boulder Hill because I simply don't have the space. And I would love to have Boulder Hill displayed. But the way I'm living right now, Boulder Hill would be boxed up in this in my basement, and like just doesn't do me any good if I can't have it out and displayed. So yeah, I think about it a lot. But whenever I cycle through the city, you know, on like a nice sunny day, I'm like, okay, maybe living in this city is not so bad. Pixel Kaiju saying like, I used to have a nice vitrinekast, but when we redecorated, it was moved out of the living room. You have to get your foot in the door, man. You have to sort of, it's like cave drawings. You put it in the living room and show the world that I am here, right? Retro Geek Mike is saying, which playset would you buy first if you had the space? Boulder Hill, my mask, because it's a really good one, and because I didn't have it. Like, I had a friend who had Snake Mountain, Toybuster, who's also on Instagram, check him out, Toybuster. When we were kids, I would go over to his house a lot, and I would play with his Ghostbuster Firehouse, and he had the Snake Mountain from Motu. And I dig those play sets, but as a kid, I was more into Transformers, and Transformers, of course, you don't really have play sets unless you count Metroplex or Trypticon. And even those were like so expensive that in my mind, in my kid brain, I was already like, okay, I can get Metroplex or I can get like 6 other Transformers. So I never had play sets as a kid. I don't think I had none. I didn't have the Turtle Lair. I didn't have Snake Mountain, none of them. So if I would get play sets, I would start with one that I've never seen up close or never touched. I never had a friend who had one of those play sets, and that would be Boulder Hill from Mosk. Also because it's a great way to display your Mosk vehicles around it. Timothy Savage says, if I had the space, I'd hunt a new Technodrome. Dude, you just sold your Technodrome. Shut up. Pizza the Action Toys is saying, I sneak 1 or 2 toys in the living room shelves. When they are found, they are taken down. Really? Oh, wow. That's aggressive. I do it too, and I always sort of joke like, oh, they're just here temporarily. While you're like, oh, I forgot to take them upstairs. And then like 2 months after, I get a lot of questions about why they're still there. Let's see. I also hide toys in the Christmas tree. I do that too. I have the Starscream official Hallmark Christmas ornament, which is like a actual Christmas ornament that looks like Starscream. Beautiful stuff. What I also do around Christmas time, which I can say on this stream because I'm pretty sure my wife will not watch this, is I'll buy some action figures and toys for myself, wrap them in Christmas paper, and put them under the Christmas tree. And then when I'm unpacking things with my kids, I go like, oh, that's so cool. And then my wife just gives me the look because I'm just buying toys for myself. I've done it like once or twice. Rich Toys is saying the new Snake Lair from O2. Yeah, they're doing a new one. Yeah, I saw that. Like the whole sort of made-to-order thing is really taking off. I mean, the Thundercats layer by Super 7, right? That's happening. And I think Super 7 is also doing some kind of Cobra mothership kind of thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's like from G.I. Joe, a giant Cobra thing. It's funny. Like, you have Hasbro and brands like that themselves embracing the made-to-order kind of situation with like the HasLab stuff, and they have all these other brands doing the same thing. And I guess that's the way to do it if you want to have like a really expensive product like a playset. Then I guess the way you do it is you make it made to order, so you don't have to get them at the discounters, because like in Holland the Origins Castle Grayskull, you can get that for $20 at the discounters, because apparently they made too many. Timothy Savage is asking me, if budget and space is unlimited, which toy would you buy now? Budget and space unlimited. That's a good question. Unlimited money, unlimited space. I think if I had unlimited money and unlimited space, I would get big 1 meter by 1 meter white blocks, like sort of window store display blocks, if you will. And on each of them, I would put a couple of pieces per toy line. And I would get, for instance, the Filmation Ghostbusters headquarters, which is unbelievably expensive to find complete. It's practically impossible. I would get that if my budget were unlimited. I would have the other space. The next one would be Boulder Hill with some mask vehicles around it, and the next one would be Transformers Overlord, which is a European and Japanese exclusive figure, which I have had in the past and sold on stupidly. I think I would go about it like that, but like unlimited space, unlimited budget would just basically make me lose all control. It would basically make me the most hated person in this community, because I would just buy everything as fresh and new and complete and sealed as possible and open it all. I would keep it mint in mind. Rich Toys is saying Vintage Eternia. Yeah, Vintage Eternia is also a beautiful playset. Never seen it in real life. Never seen one, not at Toy Show either. Timothy Savage is saying nice answers. We can always dream. Yeah, I don't know. Like I fantasized more than once about like what if I would do if I would win the lottery, etc., etc. One thing I'm fearful of if you have like unlimited budget is that you stop caring. That you just get stuff. Like sometimes you see that with really big collectors like Matt Cardona. We all know him, like the wrestler Matt Cardona is also a big toy collector. And he has so much that if he doesn't have his list with him, he'll accidentally buy doubles when he's like hunting out for toys. And he literally has fans that help him manage his checklists and stuff like that, which is when you get to that point where you don't know what you have, where you don't have in mind what you have in stock. I think you have too much. Pizza the Action Toy is asking, were you ever tempted to get the HasLab Unicron? Yes, I was. It was a different time then. I think that was the first HasLab, if I'm correct, the HasLab Unicron, or maybe the second, I don't know. I was really tempted because it felt like a chance to be part of history, to be part of something big like that, to do that. And price-wise, like back then, that was a lot of money. Nowadays, with all these third-party stuff going on and all these really expensive masterpieces, it's not even that bad anymore. I think it was like 500 or 600. These days, that's not so crazy for a toy that big. They kind of lost me with some of the design choices they made, like the fact, like the rotating ring in front of Unicron that made sort of the mouth open and close was great. But then there's nothing behind it. Like there is, I know it's not made to be played with. It's a $500, $600 direct to adult collector figure. But still, I would want to be able to put a robot into his mouth and then have the mouth chomp on it. It seems like such a no-brainer to do that, and they didn't do it. It's just, they have the opening mouth and it's just solid behind it. And not even painted, like it's not like painted like a black hole or something, it's just like gray plastic behind it. And it's choices like that made it hard for me to pull the trigger on HasLab Unicron, and then I decided I just don't have the space. Like, if I would have him here, like, I'm not even joking, if I would have him here, I would have to remove that bottom shelf just to have him stand where Megatron is standing right now. And I don't know if I want to sacrifice that much space for something that I'm not 100% sold on. Rich is saying, talking about HasLabs, what are your thoughts on Giant Man? I'm not into Marvel Legends per se. I do like what they did. Like, there's a reason it's a very big figure, right? It's Giant Man. It makes sense within the sort of scale and size of their other Marvel Legends figures. I just wonder if there are enough fans of Giant Man out there to make it happen. Is the HasLab for Giant Man, is it funded yet? Is it successful? I don't know. Please let me know in the comments. I just don't know if Giant Man is the character to do it. I don't know if he's popular enough. Like, the Galactus thing was like a very good choice. Galactus is a big baddie, a very imposing figure, but the Giant Man, I don't know. PC Action Toys saying, I think Giant Man is going to be a touch and go where it makes it or not. Yeah. Yeah. Not every superhero is Iron Man. Not every superhero is Wolverine, right? Like, you're going to have to take that into account when you decide what characters to do. I think it's weird. It depends very much, I think, on what fandom you're marketing to, because the G.I. Joe his tank HasLab went like, not his tank, the other one, like they did in a different vehicle. They've done a few G.I. Joe classified vehicles as HasLabs now, and they all get funded 100% and then some. Like they got all the extra tiers, all the extra things, and the Thundercats layer from Super 7 also got funded. Like, those are the correct choices for that kind of product, I think. But then you have stuff like the Rancor from Star Wars that didn't get funded and caused a lot of controversy, or this Giant Man thing, which doesn't seem to move that quickly. I think you have to make the right choices in, does it make sense for the scale and mass of the thing you're making? Does the fandom want it? It's that simple. Is it something the fandom is waiting for or wanting for? And then, are you making the right design decisions in the process? Like, for instance, what they did with the His tank for G.I. Joe Classified is they did a lot of like really good choices. They made some interchangeable panels that you can customize it a little bit. They did what's his name? The big G.I. Joe jet. Sky Striker, I think. They also did like really good choices in what extra bits and accessories you get with it, and when you do a high-end collector product like that, all those little details, all those decisions matter. So they're doing some good design decisions with Giant Man, with like the zombie head you can put into him, like different facial expressions, and you can move the eyes. There's a lot of like little design decisions that are great with the Marvel Legends HasLab Giant Man. I just don't know if Giant Man is the guy. I think that's as simple. Pizza the Action Toy is saying, I think Giant Man is like 6,000 orders target. It's like 6,000. So he's 6,000 orders and the target is 10k, so 5 more days to go. Oof, tricky. I hope they make it. Like, I don't like it when these things flop. I saw some fans in the Star Wars community be really shitty when the Rancor thing flopped. They were really mean about it. And I just don't like negativity in this hobby at all, because it's kids' toys, it's plastic toys, like it's supposed to be joyous. So I really hope it doesn't flop, even though, again, I don't know if Giant Man is the guy. Retro Geek Mike is saying, I think Hasbro should focus more on the Transformers 86 line. Those have some of the best designs that are not expensive. They should make Hasbro City for that line. Jesus, that would be amazing. I haven't even thought of that. Like if they would make a sort of tabletop Autobot City and you can pull some levers and have like all the guns flip up and transform, and that would be amazing. I saw a custom once of somebody who took two Titans, Titan Metroplexes, like the more modern Metroplex, and he painted them orange, and he arranged them in such a way that they formed Autobot City from the movie. That looked really good as well. That would be nice. That would be nice. I would just love it if they did like if they just kept the 86 line going until they ran out of everybody. Like all of these are great. Like I've got them. Oh, they're in the hallway. I've got my box of modern Transformers in the hallway. I have most of the 86 figures, and there's just something really gratifying about the level of detail and the design choices they make for this price point. Like, yes, this is not a masterpiece toy, right? There's some hollow bits, and like the spot where his head goes is hollow, and there's some economical choices made. But I can grab this for $30, and that's a lot. It's a very gratifying purchase, $30, right? I remember when I got my first Studio Series figure, which was Hot Rod, and it made me feel spoiled. It really gave me that feeling of they're spoiling us with this stuff, and that's a really nice feeling to have. That's what you want from sort of a modern adult collector figure. Rich Toys is saying the flag classified style. The flag classified style, the USS flag. How big would that be? That would be like, Jesus. That would be as big as a room. They would have to sell that in components. They would have to ship that in like 4 or 5 pieces. It would be amazing, but I think it's never going to happen. I think they joked about it on like a PulseCon broadcast. I think the G.I. Joe team joked about mocking it up in the shop just to see how big it would be. Dangerous though, because if they would tease it, I'm sure there would be some collectors with some pretty deep pockets who would be willing to pay for a flag in classified style. But it will be intense. Retro Geek Mike is saying we need a Studio Series 86 Optimus with battle damage for the final fight with Megatron. And he's saying Studio Series 86 Hot Rod is still one of my favorite and best designs. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if in 2024, next year, which is the anniversary of Transformers, not of the movie, but of Transformers as a brand, I think if they would do a 2-pack with like a really nice Studio Series, so this type of style figure of Optimus in Voyager scale, with the battle damage, with like the wound in his side, maybe it's interchangeable, and then next to it have a Megatron. And I know what the problem is going to be. He won't be able to transform to a gun because they can't do that anymore. But I would even accept a non-transforming Studio Series 86 Megatron. I really would. Like if maybe build him like those little like the battle damage He-Man toys, where you like press their chest and then it flips over to reveal battle damage. Some of like the Hot Wheel cars used to have that as well. Maybe if you build a Megatron that you can transform from non-damaged Megatron to damaged Megatron, maybe that's his transformation. That would be a really cool 2-pack if they did that. And once you have that Optimus mold, you can re-release him in like that gray dead Optimus colors. Yeah, fuck it. Do them all. Do all the 86 characters, Hasbro. Come get my money. etc. Piece of the Action Toys to say, I wonder if they would make a Studio Series 86 Soundwave with a new unexpected Ultra Magnus. There's hope we might get another better Soundwave, but the last one was great though. Feel like the issue with G1 Max is the gun mode. Yeah, G1 Max is the gun mode, but I think, like, I have... Where did I put him? I have that red Megatron, the non-transforming figures Megatron, and if they would do, like I said, if they make him transform from like a clean to a battle damaged mode, then he still transforms, but he doesn't transform to a gun. And then you just add like a loose Megatron as a gun that fits into Starscream's hand, everybody happy, right? Then he's in scale. I think that would be a good solve. Soundwave, I hope they do it. I really hope they do it. They're doing a new reissue, a Soundwave that's G1 Soundwave. So this Soundwave, but then in cartoon colors. So none of the chrome, everything's sort of flat. Not for me. If it's G1 in shape, then I also want the stickers and the chrome and everything. But if they would do a Studio Series 86 Soundwave that's styled like the other Studio Series figures, it would be massively popular. You know that would sell out. That would be a very popular toy. Retro Geek Mike is saying, imagine if you could make your own Mint in Mind Autobot or Decepticon figure via Hasbro, just like we would do the Power Ranger line. Like you mean the Selfie series thing? Yeah, that would be awesome. I don't like human characters in Transformers though. Like, for me, Spike and Daniel and Sparkplug and all those sort of human characters were always sort of like a necessary evil. Even as a kid, I couldn't wait for the scenes that had humans in them to end. When they went to space in season 3, a lot of the sort of interaction with humans was scrapped. So it was a lot of like robot on robot interaction. I like that way more than dealing with the humans, but I understand from like a storytelling perspective, you need the humans to be part of the Transformer story. Retro Geek Mike is saying, like, when I mean a robot with your color scheme and cap. Whew! Easy now, don't get me too excited. That would be nice. That would be nice. I don't know for sure that they would do that. But then again, it's what a lot of collectors already do, right? They customize and they repaint their toys. So maybe if they would do a sort of like a made to order where you can get your own color combo. Maybe. There's this guy on the internet that does endless customizations of Optimuses and Soundwaves. Those two particularly. He'll do like a Miami Vice Soundwave or a Run DMC Soundwave. He'll find like these sort of crossovers with other brands and other things to do. And I think both Optimus and Soundwave are so iconic in their design as toys that you could technically do that, like the endless stream of repaints. They kind of did with Optimus, with the Bathing Ape ones. I don't know if you've seen those, but you had like a red camo, a green camo, and a black camo version of Optimus Prime for Bathing Ape, which is a clothing brand. So we're close to that already, but maybe the addition of adding your own colors would make it a very popular thing. I don't know. We'll see. Rich Toys is saying, and then we got Sam with Whitkey. Yeah, don't get me started on the movies. The role of the humans in the movies. Oh my god. Oh. I don't know. in my head, there is a script for a G1 Transformers film with a spike and a spark plug and all that stuff, but then in sort of a way that would work, kind of like Stranger Things, where it's set in a time period that would make sense. So a Transformers movie set in the 80s, so there isn't an internet, and it isn't like one person seeing a Transformer snapping a picture and then their secret is out. They can actually still be robots in disguise. I would love that, but I don't think they'll ever make that. I think they're doing that Transformers 1 movie next, which is like a fully animated movie on Cybertron. And I have no doubt that we will get more Transformers movies, more Transformers live action movies that are not going to be close in any way to G1. I think we need to just accept that G1 existed. It was for us. It's also not going away. None of the things they make now can hurt G1. I don't subscribe to the whole Michael Bay ruined my childhood way of thinking. I think that's ridiculous. Like, the thing you like still exists. It's you can go back and get DVDs and watch that again. Like this, they're doing something different, something new with it now. You can agree with it, you can disagree with it, but it doesn't destroy the thing that came before. Like, that doesn't work that way. Retro Geek Mike is saying too much movies and too much humans in the movies. Just give us a whole movie like the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee. Yeah, I think our entire fandom has been quite vocal about that, right? I think every Transformers fan has said that. Like, just give me the 10 minutes of Bumblebee as a hour and a half movie. I think Hollywood and the studios just think that it would not attract enough audience. And in their defense, if that's what we wanted, then all of us should have watched the show on Netflix, the whole War for Cybertron shows, the Machinima shows on Netflix. Because that was gritty, adult, set on Cybertron, targeted at us, the adult collectors, and I don't think anybody watched it. I don't think it was a hit at all. So vote with your wallet, vote with your Netflix accounts. If they do stuff like that, watch it. Encourage Paramount, encourage Hasbro to do those things, I guess. Rich Toys saying, will Old Snake will be as well? What? Will Old Snake will be as well? You're gonna have to explain that one to me, Rich Toys. I don't understand what you mean there. Might be the whiskey talking, I don't know. Right. I'm just looking around what I still have here. Maybe there's like something I can show before I zone out. And I just noticed that I've got these two over here. I don't know if I've ever put these on the channel, but these are the Coro Q Transformers from 1990. Are they from the 2000s? Let's see. I think they're early 2000s. Yeah, 2001. These are from 2001. And they are Megatron Optimus in like really cutesy Coro Q form. And no. I think somebody knackered this box. Yeah, there you go. And if you've never seen these, let me unpack them real quick for you. Because these are the absolute cutest. I got this really cute little Optimus here. Look at that. With his tiny little gun. And he transforms. Which is always my criteria for a Transformers product. It has to do something. It has to transform. Except for Super 7 Unicron, which I'm totally going to get, even though it doesn't transform. There we go. Tiny little Optimus. Isn't that cute? Oh, and I have the Megatron as well. But even though it's not 40 years old, it's only 20 years old. It's completely yellowed. It's this little Megatron. I just realized that 2001 is 22 years ago. 22 years ago. 2001 is 22 years ago. Are you hearing me? Am I getting through? 22 years ago. I'm such a cliche. Like to me, 2001 still sounds like 10 years ago. It's 22 years ago. 2001. Unbelievable. Anyway, here is a tiny little Megatron who is now extremely yellowed. It was a very fun little thing. It's a shame he's yellowed so much. I wish it hadn't yellowed, because it's a really cute Megatron. Anyway, let's look at some comments. Old Snake is the Cobra Commander as an old terrorist when he shows up in the 90s Transformers cartoon. I did not know that, Rich Toys. That's a really good factoid. Retro Geek Mike is saying, thanks Vince, now I feel really old. Dude, we're in the same boat together. All of these people in this hobby are in their 40s now, which is insane when you think about it. Piece of the Action Toy is saying, my Baron period, 16 to 20 years old. 2003 was the TMNT from that year, and Chug Starscream from that period too. Yeah, the early 2000s, they did some really fun stuff for these brands, and that was still the time that you had to go to comic book shops and specialty stores to find this stuff at all. I remember so vividly going to Amsterdam for the first time, because I didn't grow up in Amsterdam. I grew up in Haarlem, which is like a neighboring city. And I went to school in Amsterdam, to graphical school. And after school, we would go into town to buy records and music, because we thought that was cool, right? That was the cool thing to do. And then we stumbled upon these comic book stores that would also sell some toys, and I would be blown away that they would have like a Bumblebee keychain, or this was around the time that the Takara book reissue started happening, where they had it was their first time they were doing a reissue of Megatron and guys like that. And it was like you had to search so long and hard to find the product. And now, 20 years later, the product is everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. And with that, I think it's time for me to sign off. It's just been fun. Like I said, I'm very, very tired. This has been a nice little evening. Thanks for responding. Thanks for leaving comments. If you can, please go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow that. Like I said, it's been a little bit stagnant around like the 350 subs. I am trying to get to that 1,000 sub milestone. So please go to YouTube, look for Mint in Mind, and sub if you can. That would be nice. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you at a toy show soon. Cheers. Have a nice night. Keep it mint in mind.